is strange. Then he brings Gomer in to identify the body. Gomer takes a look at the face and says, yup, he's pretty well burnt up. Roll him over. The mortician rolls him over and Gomer says, no, it ain't Bubba. The mortician asks, how can you tell? Gomer said, well, Bubba had two *** holes. What? He had two assholes? Exclaims the mortician. Yup, every time we went to town, folks would say, here comes Bubba with them two assholes. Late in the night he regained consciousness. He found himself in agonizing pain in the hospital's ICU, with tubes up his nose, wires monitoring every function and a gorgeous nurse hovering over him. He realized had obviously been in a serious accident. She gave him a deep look straight into the eyes, and he heard her slowly say, you may not feel anything from the waist down. Somehow he managed to mumble in reply, can I feel your tips then? That, my friends, is a positive attitude. A guy has a bad habit, he loves to hit pedestrians while he drives. So one day he's driving and sees an old lady with a cane and he decides to control his urge to swerve and hit her, but he can't. Later, he sees a kid skating and can't resist hitting the kid. Finally, he decides he needs help from above, so he goes to a church and asks the pastor for help. So after church, the pastor invites him to his house for lunch. They get in the car and start to drive down the street, and just as he starts to tell the pastor about his problems, he sees an old blind man walking down the street. He swerves toward him but misses, and the pastor says, don't worry. I got him with the door.
Two guys meet up in a bar. The first one asks, did you hear the news? Mike is dead. Whoa, what the hell happened to him? Well, he was on his way over to my house the other day, and when he arrived outside the house he didn't brake properly and boom, he hit the curb. The car flipped over and he crashed through the sunroof, went flying through the air and smashed through my upstairs bedroom window. What a horrible way to die. No, he survived that. That didn't kill him at all. So, he's landed in my upstairs bedroom and he's all covered in broken glass on the floor. Then, he spots the big old antique wardrobe we have in the room and reaches up for the handle to try to pull himself up. He's just dragging himself up when bang, this massive wardrobe comes crashing down on top of him, crushing him and breaking most of his bones. What a way to go, that's terrible. No, that didn't kill him, he survived that. He managed to get the wardrobe off him and crawls out onto the landing. He tries to pull himself up on the banister, but under his weight the banister breaks and he goes falling down onto the first floor. In mid-air, all the broken banister poles spin and fall on him, pinning him to the floor, sticking right through him. Now that is the most unfortunate way to go. No, that didn't kill him, he even survived that. So he's on the downstairs landing, just beside the kitchen. He crawls into the kitchen, tries to pull himself up on the stove, but reached for a big pot of boiling hot water. Whoosh, the whole thing came down on him and burned most of his skin off him. Man, what a way to go. No, he survived that. He's lying on the ground covered in boiling water and he spots the phone and tries to pull himself up to call for help, but instead he grabs the light switch and pulls the whole thing off the wall, and the water and electricity didn't mix, and so he got electrocuted. Ball of 10,000 volts shot through him. Now that is one awful way to go. No, he survived that. Hold on now, just how the hell did he die? I shot him. You shot him. What the hell did you shoot him for? He was wrecking my house. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
A beautiful young girl is about to undergo a minor operation. She's laid on a hospital trolley bed with nothing on, except a sheet over her. The nurse pushes the trolley down the corridor towards the operating theater, where she leaves the girl on the trolley outside, while she goes in to check whether everything is ready. A young man wearing a white coat approaches, lifts the sheet up and starts examining her naked body. He puts the sheet back and then walks away and talks to another man in a white coat. The second man comes over, lifts the sheet and does the same examination. When a third man does the same thing, but more closely, she grows impatient and says, all these examinations are fine and appreciated, but when are you going to start the operation? The man in the white coat shrugged his shoulders, I have no idea. We're just painting the corridor. There are 3 men on a plane, a Mexican, an American, and a Russian. The Mexican says, I hate my country. And through the step out the window. The American says, I hate my country, and threw the pie out the window. The Russian says, I hate my country, and threw the bomb out the window. Then the plane lands and the Mexican sees a kid crying. The Mexican says, what's wrong, kid? The kid says, a soup fell on my mom's head and she burned to death. I didn't do that, says the Mexican. The American was walking and saw a kid crying. What's wrong, kid? The kid says, my mom was driving and a pie fell on her windshield and drove off a cliff cause she couldn't see. I didn't do that, says the American. Then the Russian gets off the plane and saw a kid laughing his head off. The Russian says, what's so funny? The kid says, Daddy farted and the house went boom boom.